You don't hate yourself. You hate that you're not being yourself. You ask, why am I still hiding? I did so much inner work, yet I'm still afraid to show the real me. I forgot. I don't want to be cringe. But what if I told you that cringe is the forgotten sister of courage? And courage is the mother of confidence. Hello guys, I'm Marty and welcome back to my channel where it's all about becoming courageous to live boldly. This video is about helping you to feel more confident in putting yourself out there and not be so afraid of being judged. Because this fear of being judged is what's holding us back. Watch until the end because I'm going to teach you how to experience the freedom to be yourself again, which inevitably involves embarrassing yourself. If you like my video at any point and find it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. I once read a phrase that stuck with me. Being considered weird by people still stuck in cultural programming is actually a compliment. And I live and die by that. You want to be confident? Do something with your life, change yourself. Well, you're gonna need courage for that first step. And that first step might also be embarrassing for you just because you don't have the experience yet. And if others are watching how you try for the first time to do something different, they might call it cringe. But you know what? Embarrassment is a personal choice. It's a subjective experience. What you're embarrassed by is different than what I'm embarrassed by. It's a choice you make based on what you think they think about you. But how are you deciding what people think about you? And more importantly, why are you agreeing with them? Because the only reason you'd be embarrassed is if there is some part of you that agrees with their judgment. And cringe is the same. Cringe has no definition. Cringe is what you decide it is. That just means that we collectively agree that this is cringe. Or there is one person commenting, that's cringe, and everybody, oh yeah, so cringe. Cringe is a perspective that you can decide to not take part in. Cringe is a judgment that you don't have to place on yourself, at least not the negative connotation. But then why is it so hard to just not feel embarrassed anymore? Because we have been conditioned to. Since our childhood, we have been programmed to feel embarrassed. Last year, I saw a video of me where I was maybe 2 years old and I was sitting on the ground and playing with a red truck. I disassembled it and was just doing my thing. And then my father came and said, Martina, come, stand up. He takes my truck, builds it together again and puts it on the table so that I have to stand up, look at the camera, smile, play for the camera. And I'm just confused. What should I do? Why should I smile? But the grown-ups meant it well and often forced me just to do things their way, as you have been probably too. And I grew up being a very observant child, always looking who behaves how, what is the right way to be right now. And the reason I tell you this story is that very few of us had a free, liberal childhood where we could just express ourselves, where we were even rewarded for just being our glorious, weird, young self. Most of us learned by inauthentic adults what it means to function in a society. But this small child is still within you, in your core. So ask yourself, when were you really free as a child? What did you do back then, even if those were just tiny moments? Building robots, recording videos, playing dinosaur, dressing up, singing, dancing, whatever. Who were you before embarrassment existed? Before coming to Germany and becoming even more timid, I had a group of girlfriends in Lithuania and I was the leader, the rebellious leader. Let's jump on beds. Let's chase ducks. Let's climb over that fence. Let's go exploring. That was the real me. But adults and adulting put a lid on that. As children, we all learned that adults are mostly boring. They're wearing a mask. They're not weird, but somehow all the same. And maybe you had even adults in your life that shamed people who were outside of the norm. And remember the times before social media? People who were considered cringe nowadays belonged to subculture groups. The anime nerds, the goths, the punks, the medieval guys, and so on. But nowadays, through social media, it's so much easier to point the finger at anyone. When you open a video of someone just doing something unusual, sharing their creative craft, there are so many anonymous haters. So the person just scrolling through the comments gets so much more discouraged to just try something on their own. People are now so much more connected and isolated at the same time, which makes it just harder to experiment and go out of yourself. At the same time, it's easier to just sit in your little box and hate on people doing something different. And when someone threatens your box, you just have to scream, "Cringe!" and you're safe. People do something totally harmless and you go, "Oh, that's so embarrassing." Wear something unusual? Cringe. Speak with enthusiasm about something you love? Embarrassing. Try to be differently? Fake and cringe. Okay, then why should we bother embarrassing ourselves? Because there is a downward spiral that happens when you avoid embarrassment for too long. It starts small and then it becomes your whole personality. You stop doing things that feel risky. You stop doing anything that's slightly out of character. And eventually, your personality becomes this little box. But if you're avoiding embarrassment, you are not protecting yourself from judgment. You're just becoming socially convenient for other people. And when you hear someone say, "Oh, they're trying too hard to be something different," that's so cringe. What they are really saying, "I am uncomfortable with the change you are trying to make. The fact that you are transforming triggers me because I need my box. Where is your box? Why is it bigger than mine?" And maybe that cringe person was programmed for so long to be a normie, to be a little robot in a suit, while they were secretly hating themselves for not being themselves. So how can you judge them for trying something new? It just doesn't make sense to me. Isn't it more cringe to judge a person who is freeing themselves, who is peeling off the layers of social programming? They try to become someone different. And that is the inner work made visible. This discomfort is the way to courage, confidence, and freedom. Your being normal might just show a lack of courage. But most people avoid that discomfort as if their life depends on it. Embarrassment is this ultimate threat. Like if someone sees them doing something different, they will die. And that, my friends, is the spotlight effect. The feeling that there is a spotlight on you and everybody is watching your every move. But the truth is, you wouldn't worry so much about what other people think if you knew how seldom they do. Ironically, everybody is running around thinking they are being judged. Everyone is stuck in their own little spotlight, convinced the whole world is staring at them. And once you realize that nobody is really paying attention, you can ask what really matters. If nobody is watching, what do I actually want to do? And if you're still afraid, I want to ask you, do you want to live your life your way? Or do you want to shrink yourself and rob the world, rob us of the gift of the real you? And maybe you don't even know what is this real you after decades of wearing a mask. And that's totally fine. You don't need to overthrow your whole being. But I want to invite you to experiment. Do small micro dares and make it a game. See if you change something small, if anybody notices. Maybe hum a song while walking. Walk with a bigger stride. Move your hips and arms more. Wear your hair down. Or when you're on the bus and listening to music, just nod and move along. Smile big and say thank you to the cashier. Or take a picture of you in public. People will forget after 5 seconds, but you will remember that experiment. Doing those micro dares accumulates this free spirit energy and gives you momentum, even if objectively those were just tiny actions. But for someone who is wearing a mask their whole life, that is huge. That's breaking out of the shell. Every time you embarrass yourself a little, you are teaching your body, your nervous system, that being seen won't kill you. Most people wait for courage and confidence to suddenly appear. But confidence isn't a mood, it's a muscle. And every micro dare is a rep training that muscle. And you will start noticing that the things that once felt embarrassing now feel normal. Then they feel easy, and then they're just irrelevant. It's just you doing your thing. That is how people change permanently. Confident people are not fearless. They have built courage and tolerance. They have embarrassed themselves so many times that it stopped being a threat and is now just part of the process. Feeling embarrassed is not a sign that something is wrong, but it's a sign that you are moving, that you are growing. To be cringe is to be free. Don't forget that. It's the cringe ones who make their dreams come true and change the world in the process. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a like and subscribe. I love you all and appreciate your support. See you in the next video.